Bhagavad Gita chanting, chapter 10, verses 11 to 20.
तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता। अर्जुन उवाच परं ब्रह्म परं धाम पवित्रं परमं भवान् पुरुषं शाश्वतं दिव्यम् आदिदेवमजं विभुम् आहुस्त्वां ऋषयः सर्वे देवर्षिर्नारदस्तथा असितो देवलो व्यासः स्वयं चैव ब्रवीषिमे सर्वमेतदृतं मन्ये यन्मां वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिं विदुर्देवानदानवाः स्वयमेवात्मनात्मानं वेत्थत्वं पुरुषोत्तम भूतभावनभूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमास्त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि कथं विद्यामहं योगिन् त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूयः कथय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम् श्रीभगवानुवाच हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठः नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशयस्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति। What is the lifestyle of a bhakta is what he is giving in verse 9. He leads a life where his mind is occupied with the Lord. All his actions were performed for the sake of the Lord. Always speaking of him. Atayanta. Speaking of the glory. And Parasparam Bodhayanta. Another beautiful quality. When these two bhaktas were to meet each other, what do? They're not going to be staring at each other. See, this is the most exciting period of his life. To meet a bhakta. For a bhakta, meeting a bhakta is exciting. It's like imagine two musicians were to meet. What do they speak? They're supposed to speak about music. Not what all the politics around the music is happening. That means he is not a musician. If two sports persons were to meet, they are supposed to speak about that sport. Two football players were to meet, they are supposed to talk about football. Only then he is a football player. See, otherwise there is no passion. The proof of passion is what? You are passionate about it, means you will speak. Years back, I was in one college, sitting with the dean, having a conversation in his room. Two boys came, and the dean started shouting at them, said, "I am not going to answer. It's a late submission, not allowed. We have informed you fellows very clearly. This is late. This is back and all that." They scolded those fellows, and these two boys were, don't know what to do. So they went out. When they left, I asked him, "What is this? Why are you so harsh on them? What thing?" "Hey, no, sir, it's indiscipline." So correct, it is indiscipline, no doubt about it. And then you can just tell them, I said, "What is this all about? They have given a project, assignment paper to be submitted on your dream job. And those fellows were given 3 weeks time. And these two fellows were late for that. No. They were told that it is a project is about dream job. Assignment. Project is an assignment. They're supposed to write about what is their dream job. I said, "It's your mistake." I said, "It's your mistake. If I were you, I would have given 2 hours. Why? What is the topic? The topic is my dream job, which means what? I'm dreaming about it. When I'm dreaming about it, how long it's going to take for me to present it? I don't have to go for a case study. I don't have to go for a reference here, there. Nothing is required. I just have to write about what is my understanding of a dream job, which means I've been thinking on it. 3 weeks time was given for that. And these two fellows were submitting that Assignment late. What do you think is written inside? It's no longer my dream job. What I said, it's a very interesting assignment. The next year onwards, I will also give. When we do course, I will also give that. Do you give it every year? No, we just thought of doing it this time. And they're all, final year students, not first year students, MBA final year, because they needed those things for them to call for placements. For that, they were asking. 3 weeks if you are going to take for you to prepare your dream job. That's what it means. Vedanta Paraspara means they enlightening one another. They talk. What is the subject of the discussion? When two bhaktas were to meet, they talk about the glory of the Lord. These two fellows were to meet. They discuss only on how the grace of the Lord be showering on them. What they have seen, how they have understood. That's what it is. Vedanta Paraspara. A beautiful quality. Yes.
This
Ah.
also be someone who is not a Bhakta, how is that? Just says one.
That is the next one. Atayanta. See, if I meet a Bhakta, what will I do? I will interact with him with reference to the glory, the grace. Okay. If two Vedanta students were to meet, what do they talk? Except Vedanta, everything is so. That means what? Both are not students. That's what it means. These two fellows were to meet. First thing they should discuss is what? In between Vedanta discussions, you can have other discussions. Right? But not politics and sports would be your predominant. What should take predominance over your discussion? This is with the fellow one. Now I am going to interact with another person who is not a Bhakta. See, a Bhakta doesn't mean I have to be a Bhakta of Vishnu, you also should be a Bhakta of Vishnu. Not necessary. I am a devotee of Vishnu, you are a devotee of Shiva. What will be the discussion? Not an argument. Is Shiva bigger or Vishnu bigger? That means what? Both are not Bhaktas. Both are called what? Fanatics, not devotee. Right? This is fanatics. That is why this Virat Rupa is explained by Krishna. It says all these glorious manifestations are my manifestation. There also we take one point. What is it? It is all Krishna's manifestation. Shiva's no. He says no, my manifestation. So therefore what? Krishna's manifestation. So you have to be a Bhakta of Krishna. And then what they will do, who is Shiva? They will say, Shiva also great man. Why he is great? Because he is the greatest devotee of Shiva, like Vishnu. That's all. Why Shiva is great? Because he is the chief of all the devotees of Vishnu. Therefore he is. Now you come this side, this fellow says exactly the same thing. Shiva is the Lord, Vishnu is his Bhakta. Best Bhakta for Shiva is who? Vishnu. This is not Bodhayanta. Parasparam Bodhayanta is where you are able to see the glory, the grace of the Lord. How the Lord's grace have been showering on people. Protection. We'll go on talking about it. If you are of an intellectual type, what you will do, you will share your understanding of this. See, this is what my understanding is. This is what I have read. This is what I have heard. What is your understanding? How you understand this verse? Bodhayanta Parasparam, he says. What does it mean? What do you understand by this word? Then comes the next word. He says, immediately enlightening one another and Kathayanta, speaking. Speaking means who? To the rest. So to the rest of them also, what are you going to do? You speak only this. That is why nobody will talk to you. Strictly speaking, nobody will talk to you. Why? Because you will speak only that. If you are soaked in this, you will speak only this. You cannot speak anything else. You would not know what else to speak. You and your Vedanta keep to yourself. Isn't it? At home, you tell your husband, he'll say what? Keep your Vedanta to yourself. I don't want to hear this. If husband and wife have to study Vedanta together, what happens? Huh? Neighbors are totally confused. They fight for different reasons. These two fight for some absurd reasons they will be fighting. And no one will be able to understand what's wrong with these two. For weird reasons they will fight. You are attached. No, you are more attached. Fight. And the moment they speak to outsider, what they do? They talk about this knowledge. Why? Because, go to the first point. Those with mind in me, Machitta. His mind is fully occupied with thought. So what will come out? Tyagaraja, what will come out of Tyagaraja's mouth? Something good happens, he will say Rama. A tragedy happens, he will say Rama. He gets excited, he will say Rama. He gets dejected, he will say Rama. Anything happens around, he will say Rama. That's called Bhakti. This is the style of a Bhakti. So when you speak to people, without your knowledge, without your conscious effort, it will come out. You don't have to put in any effort for this. In fact, your effort will be only to contain it. And that's where you make a mistake. Definitely your relationship will get straight. There's no doubt about it. But from your point of view, what is it? Okay, Kathayanta. If you are not speaking about life, living, what are you talking? What else you talk about? Whole day we talk, right? What do you talk? That's why in the 17th chapter, austerity of speech, it says, speak less. Don't speak more. If you speak more, what will happen? Meaningfully, using potent words, useful, pregnant words to be spoken for a long duration is not a possibility. It's not possible. It's impossible to do it. Therefore, the recommendation is what? Speak less. Don't say you should practice that. Teaching. The classroom you can't explain. In the classroom you should speak less. What else you do? Meditate. Means what? Fall up to sleep. With the austerity of speech, one of the conditions is this. Speak less. Why you should speak less? Because for that speech to have power, a powerful communication can happen only with powerful, potent, meaningful words. Pleasing. You have to speak the truth. And to speak the truth, how long you have to speak? Nothing much. That's why people like Ramana, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa will not be speaking much. That does mean those who speak were all wrong. Immediately you go to the other extreme. You need extreme caliber to maintain. Or to speak like Ramatirtha. You need that caliber. Intellectual caliber is needed. So therefore, as a recommendation, what is given? Yes. By chance, if you were to speak, what you will speak about? If at all you speak, don't speak much. When you speak, what you speak? The glory of the Lord. That is what should come out. That is what they do, he says. Always speaking of me, enlightening one another, and always speaking of me. When they live such a life, what does it say? They are contented and delighted. They are contented when they are all alone. They are delighted when they are in company. Our problem is only one is possible. When people are not there, you feel missing. When people are there, you feel they're intruding into my space. Exact opposite of our life. Our life is like when nobody is there, we feel what? Left alone. The loneliness starts eating your system. Right. Therefore, what you do? Go out and start meeting people. The moment you start meeting and start interacting with people, what happens immediately? Friction. Why? Essentially, there is a problem. So he says there is contentment. All alone, you are contented. That's what he says. Tushyanti. Ramanti is, in fact, to a large extent, it's the same word. Why there are two words used? Is two different connotations. One connotation is when you are alone. Second one is when you are in company. In company, you delight. Which company is there? Any company. Doesn't make a difference. And don't mix this up with the introductory level of effort. When you're starting your spiritual journey, you should start with what? Bhajagovinda. Satsangatve nirsangatva. So starting point is satsanga. Correct. Avoiding other associations, maintaining only satsang. All other associations you detest. You have a sort of an aversion to other relationships. This delighted is a different state. So satsangatve, nirsangatvam, nirsangatve, nirmohatvam, and all that is it's a practice. Right? Krishna is not talking about a practice here. He is talking about this line is about the state of the person. Now, what you have to practice the other 1.5 lines. What do you have to practice? Mind filled with me, all actions dedicated to it, always talking about me, and enlightening each other. So when you do that, as an effect of all this, you reach a state, the consequence. So always you will find in the Gita, Krishna maintains this. Any time he gives a practice, he immediately gives the as a test. So Tushyanti, Ramanti is a test of your spiritual status. I am delighting in some company. How? You are delighted with what sort of company? But today we get delighted in the company of pets. Stress buster. You have a pet in the house, it is a stress buster. Why? So which means who is causing you stress? Fellow humans are all causing stress. Therefore, what I am going to do? Bring an animal and make it my slave. Isn't it? Because it loses its native nature. If you take a domesticated dog and leave it in the street, it will die. It cannot survive. But a dog is not designed to be that. Animals are designed to live on their own. But we bring that, we make them dependent on us, and then we get a stress buster out of it, delight out of that company. Some companies you get delighted, company you delight. In whose company you delight now? You enjoy some companies, right? When you are around few people, you enjoy. Who are they? That is satsangatve nirsangatvam effort. Now, that's not what is referred here. What is referred here is doesn't make any difference. Krishna was in delight in the company of Shakuni. Not just Yudhishthira, Arjuna. Not only that, even when Shishupala was really abuses, this Uddhava, sorry, not Uddhava, this another student of minister sort of Krishna, Satyaki, he was standing, and Krishna has given the boon to Shishupala's mother. I will pardon him for 100 mistakes. 100 wrongs I will pardon. 101 out. After that, there is no forgiveness and all that. Finished. So this fellow started talking, in the Rajsuya, and they decided who should be given the guest of honor. No, we have like that. The guest of honor for that. Who should be given for that? Means Bhishma, Drona, and all these people recommended Krishna. So Krishna should be the person. And Shishupala got so wild. He never liked Krishna. So he started talking about Krishna, and it is recorded there. That's the beauty of the text. Mahabharata, he records. In Bhagavatam, same episode comes with a slight variation, that's all. It's the same thing. Both are authored by Vyasa only. So no big difference, but there is a slight angle difference is there. The angle difference is this, which is very interesting. In Mahabharata, just the Shishupala's abuse of Krishna goes on, and then Krishna, at one point, Krishna says, enough is enough, takes his Chakrayuda and finishes it. That's it. Story ends there. And then, of course, a form of a Jyoti comes out of that and goes and merges in the feet of Krishna. This is happening there. That record is there. True or false, we don't have to worry about. That's a story. Right. But in Bhagavatam, same thing is coming. And Shishupala is abuses. And this guy, Satyaki, is standing next to Krishna, is counting. Because 100 you have to count, no? He's counting. 46, 47, 48. Krishna immediately stopped there. Not 48. This 48 is already included in 12. Discounted. And then he says, okay, discounted. Because this is an ancillary of the previous pointer. It's not a new pointer. See, new mistakes will be. 100 mistakes means what? New mistakes it has to be. It cannot be 1A, 1B, and all that. 1A, 1B, and all is part of one. The same way. Krishna says, goes on and on and on. A point comes where Sati gets annoyed with Krishna. Either you count or I count. Who should count, you tell me? Because every time this fellow is making mistakes, what is Krishna doing? He's cherishing it. Some of me say, sir, that Kala Krishna, who knows about all that? We don't know. I'll give you history. In between, when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was getting, more visible, people started recognizing Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. All that. One day, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had many gurus. He has practiced Tantra, he has practiced, Bhakti form, he has practiced Islam, he has practiced, Advaita, this one. Every form he has practiced. One day, all those people got into a debate. There's a debate. Whether Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is avatar or not. Whether he is an avatar Purusha or not. There's a heated argument going on. And this man goes and sits there. And when This fellow argues and gives a point. Says, "Wow, super!" You clap. He's saying he is not an avatar. He comes from the other side. This fellow is a fake, and giving a proof. He's simply putting up an act, and he says, "What a beautiful argument." On the other side, this lady comes and says, "No, he is not an Advaiting. He is a pure, Siddha Purusha. He is not a Jnani. He is a Siddha Purusha." I don't know how many of you are familiar with. These are all words referring to that same state, but there is a difference. Like we have no king, emperor, lord, monarch. So many words are there, no? All refers to king only, but there is a difference. Same way, there is a difference here. Wow, perfect. He is sitting there. Another fellow comes and says, no, he is not a Siddha, yogi and all that. He is a Jnani. Right. One fellow says he is a fake. He's clapping. Then one guy got up from the seat. He said, "Go to your fellows register. Look at that guy. He is simply sitting there and enjoying whatever we are arguing. Isn't that a proof that he is an avatar?" And quietly everybody left with this. Ramanti, delighted. You are delighted by what? We also get delight. Exciting, superb. We also get it by something happening. That external stimulus gives us that delight, that kick, that joy, that jubilee, that excitement. You get from where? External stimulus. Is there a possibility for you to experience that without any stimulus? You are in that state. And that is the state of a bhakta. Mark, this is not a state of realization. Remember that. The state what Krishna is referring here in verse number 9, Tushyanti, Ramanti and all this is not a state of realization, nor it is the early state. You are in the middle somewhere. You are in the middle. You are not the initiate. You are not just the person who has just started the spiritual journey. For the person who is starting the spiritual journey, not this verse. Bhajagovinda. Right. That fellow cannot take this stand. Nor this is a state of realization. This is in-between state. You don't have to become, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa for this. You don't. I'm giving example of Krishna, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, so that it is easy for us to understand that state. That state is this, where you are contented and delighted. Verse 10.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते.
To those ever steadfast, Satata Yuktana means ever steadfast, worshipping me with love, Bhajatam Priti Purvaka. With love worshipping. I give the Buddhi Yoga union by intellect, by which they come to me. Further develop. This is why I said previous verse is not referring to a man of realization. So don't connect it to realization. To those ever steadfast, which means they are still in the path. So Satata Yukta. Now what he is giving is how the Lord comes and uplifts a person. The blessing. Okay, God blesses you. Right, we say no. God blesses you. How he will bless you? How God's blessing will be showering on you? Success and prosperity. If you are getting success and you are getting prosperous, that means what? It is a problem. What is it? It's not a blessing. It's a test. It is a testing for you, not a curse. I don't know how you got the idea. He is wrong.
Somebody said, if I want to curse somebody, I tell him to become a guru.
Yeah. The curse of a guru is always what? It's a test. They don't curse. No guru curses. If at all they curse, what does it mean? It is a test, or it is a prashchita. It is a prashchita. That's it. That is not what we are referring to. If you are getting success and prosperity alone, sir, we were so bad earlier. Now we are fully settled. That means what? You are fully established in the samsara. That's the meaning of it. I am settled, sir. Now you are settled where? For this, you don't require God's blessing. Remember, for prosperity, for success, name, fame, power, position, status, all this, family, relationships, respect. To get all this, you don't need God coming into the picture at all. You don't require God. That is why we say this, technically, this karma kanda portion. They say they don't need Ishvara. They don't need God. The ritual itself will give the result. You perform the ritual, you perform the duty, you perform that action, that karma itself will give you the result. You study well, you write exam properly, you get marks. Where is God coming into the picture? That's why when a child comes and asks us, you do prayer and go to exam and you say, when a child turns around and asks, if I don't know the answer, will Ganesha come and write? We don't know what to answer. Because Ganesha is not going to come and write. He will not come and write your maths exam. Then what to do? We are stuck. Chipram hi manushe loge siddhir bhavati karma. Krishna only said, no? 4th chapter. Chipram hi manushe loge. Like that you will get success in this world. How? By your action. Actions will give it. You, why you need me for that? I am not needed there at all, actually. Of course, the grace of the Lord is exactly like saying sunlight is there. There's no meaning to that statement. That is not what he said. There is an active participation done by me, he gives you. It's a fascinating verse. The promise of this. How he actively comes. Now, in this context, it is not petrol in car. You see that? Here it is not just petrol in car. Petrol does something more. What is that extra step taken by God in facilitating? So when does God come into an active position in your life? Active participation of God in your life. For you to qualify for that active participation of the God, what you have to do? Practice verse 9. In fact, start from verse 8, very general, and then mind is made available. Then what happens now? He says, I do this. How I do? He gives a coins of beautiful terminology here. I give the Buddhi Yoga. We have heard about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, so many yogas. Right? So many yogas we have heard about. Suddenly Krishna comes and says, I grant them Buddhi Yoga. Very interesting coinage. Using that Buddhi Yoga which I give them, they come to me. So Buddhi Yoga is not yours. He gives it. So I give the Buddhi Yoga. These are the places where we need to decode it appropriately. So to whom he will give, he qualifies again. To those people, whoever practices that, that practice of verse 8 and 9 should be done how? Satata Yuktana. How that practice has to be? Satata Yukta. They practice it with that consistency. The consistency with which you practice verse 8 and 9. If you do, then I give this to you. What is that? What do they practice? They practice something very unique. Satata Yukta. That union. They practice that union. What is the union they practice? They practice a union. And they give beautiful example. Rabindranath Tagore does a huge analysis. Very big analysis he does. On the relationship between waves and ocean. Beautiful one. The gist is this. A wave comes, there is another wave is there. Now, what is the relationship between this wave and that wave? There is no ocean. Wave 1, wave 2. What is the relationship? It's a wave, not water. You are jumping 20 steps. Wave. First one. Is there a possibility of relationship? Is there actual relationship? If at all they entertain a relationship, that relationship is what? Notional. Number one. Number two, even that notional relationship is also a temporary one. Right? So, 3 words remember, that's all. It becomes very easy. Well, I can't go into the detailed analysis like how he does. Beautifully he explains it. Just is only these three words. One is what, sir? It is, first one is, it is incidental. First of all, this way and that way meeting is incidental. Per chance, that's about it. This wave never considered that I am going to relate to that wave of that type. Not possible. The first wave can never have the relationship with the fourth wave. You see, no ocean. Waves keep coming, right? So as this wave coming, there is another wave who has started there. So there is a first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave. That's the, I'm talking about ocean waves, not pandemic. Today, because waves now, everybody thinks, no, first wave, second wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. That's not what it is. There's ocean. There, the first wave, if at all the first wave says, no, I will relate only to the third wave. Bypassing the second wave, can it relate to the third one? Can the first wave decide who should be the second wave? Oh, he's my best friend. No, best friend. By chance, their parents and your parents decided to put you in the same school. By chance, that school decided to put you two in the same class, same section. Correct? That's why this, when they shuffle, the classes, they do that, that initially. Third standard, fourth standard, fifth standard, they shuffle. When they shuffle, the child says, they refuse to go to school. Why? Because my best friend is in the other section. By chance, you went and sat in that bench. All happened by chance, not by your choice. No chance. But then you say what? He is my best friend. My best friend. As though I chose. By chance, you are standing there in the bus stop. By chance, that girl took that bus. And that fellow sees. There's an interesting movie, okay, years back, by the name of the bus owner. Kalbi. In Tamil, it's a movie. Kalbi. Online course பார்க்க time இல்ல. E-learning course பண்ண time இல்ல. Yes. கல்வி பார்த்தா very interesting movie. In the starting, this fellow is going, the hero is going for an interview. And he comes to the corner of the street and he sees the bus. And he is running to catch the bus. The movie splits there. If he takes the bus, this is the consequence. If he is not taking the bus, this is the consequence. And the director, leaves it to us and says, audience, end of this movie is, he says, you people decide whichever it is. He takes the bus, he meets one girl. He misses the bus, he meets another girl. Chance that. It's incidental. The relationship between wave to wave is incidental. Right? Then what is it now? It is notional. It just actually is there a relationship? There's no relationship because when they relate to each other, there is no two, there's only one wave. Isn't it? Relationship means what? You are there, I am here, I am relating to you. Only then it is possible. So relationship is a proof of what? Duality. You are different, I am different. The moment the waves merge, there's no relationship after that. So relationship means what? This wave likes that wave or dislikes that wave. I love you, I hate you. Either case, what is it? Notional. Third point, say temporary. Incidental, notional, temporary. Motion, wave, example. Between waves, what is it? Right, whatever the size of the wave, doesn't matter. Big or small, doesn't matter. All these cases, this is the condition. Now we ask the question, sir, what is the relationship between ocean and wave? Then comes the third relationship. What is it? Water and ocean. That's Uttama Purusha. 15th chapter explains. Wave to wave. Second one is second layer of thinking is ocean to wave. Third layer is water. The moment you say water, there is neither ocean nor wave, nor bubble, nor froth, nor foam. Nothing is there. Everything is what? Water. So when he says Satata Yuktana, what is the union that he is constantly looking into? This student has moved, this Bhakta has moved from relating to the wave to relating to the ocean. And he is consistent in that. When he is consistent in that, what he does, he gives Buddhi Yoga. With Buddhi Yoga, what he is going to do? Understand there's only water. Then what is it now? Then there is no difference between ocean, lake, river, gutter. You say water. It transcends the ocean also. What are we doing now? We are having human to human relationship. Right. Now, of course, today we have, deteriorated from that. Now, we are not talking about the fall. We're talking about the race. We're talking about the race, the minimum, lowest point we start with. This relationship is between human to human relationships. So what is the human to human relationship nature? Exactly like the wave to wave relationship nature. Incidentally, you are my son. That's all. That's what Rama tells. He says, incidentally. This Janma you are. Like we are people are there. Next Janma also we should be husband. Weird, Next Janma. First of all, there's no guarantee next Janma will be human. He will be born as a cat, that will be born as a rat. Right? Or a dog. That's it. That's a condition now also. Forms are different. That we say husband and wife. We should be husband and wife for next 7 Janma. Booking. Prepaid. 7 Janma book pandra. And they say, initially they 7 Janmas. After 20 years of marriage, what they will say, 7th Janma, correct, sir, but this is the 7th Janma. Initial marriage, they will not say that. They will say, this is the first Janma. From now, 7. After 20 years, they say what? This is the 7th Janma. Human relationship, all incidental relationship. What are they getting so involved in? That doesn't mean, you become indifferent immediately. That's not what is referred here. Okay. Don't jump to the other extreme of indifference. The involvement with it is incidental. But the relationship between wave and ocean is what? It is permanent. It is sacred. It is sacred relationship between ocean and wave. Similarly, the relationship between the Lord and the Bhakta is what? It's a sacred relationship. There you keep changing. That is where this Preeti Purvakam comes into picture. While worshipping me with consistency, how he is able to have that consistency is because of that Preeti Purvakam. No, that's the fulcrum. One side is consistency. Other side is understanding. See, because you can love someone. That's a fundamental rule of affection. Always remember this. The law of love is love is born of understanding. Today, what's happening, sir? More you understand a person, more you start detesting that person. Isn't it? That's what we say, no? Familiarity breeds contempt. Why? More and more you get familiar with the person, what happens to you? Start detesting the person. Whereas the true love can be born only out of understanding. Now I just introduce you to a person. Immediately you can't say, do you like him or hate him? You cannot answer that, isn't it? So give me some time. Let me interact with him for a period of time. After a period of time of interaction alone, you are able to. What is the meaning of interaction? Every interaction with the other person, you get an understanding of that person. Out of that comes love. It says, now Preeti Purvakam, that Preeti, full of, Purvakam means full of love. It's so much of love, so much of affection. Otherwise, what is it? Our relationship with God is what now? Contract basis. That contract also was the contract we have with God. In all other contracts, what is it, sir? You get into agreements, no? Isn't it? In every agreement, what do you do? Down payment. Sir, down payment, you pay this. Yesterday is on the paper, front page. 33% you pay now. After we complete the construction, you can pay the rest of 66%. Till then, you don't have to pay. Correct? You pay advance, no? You give a contract to a person, they'll say, sir, give me advance. Now you go to God and ask him, do this. But then what do you say? First you finish the job, then I will give. Isn't it? First you get my problem solved. Get my daughter's wedding done. After my daughter's wedding is confirmed, and after the wedding happens, I will come to your temple and give my care. Kudukaradhu hair da. Right? We just going to give hair to them. That also when do you give? So first, God has to complete his job without any token advance. Give a token advance, no. That's why he never answers our prayers. Why he is not answering the prayers? In the contract, who will sign? First you build all the entire house, and then if I like the house, I will pay. Like that we do contract with God. Contractual relationship. Transaction. Preeti Purvakam, it is non-transactional relationship. That's called the Preeti Purvakam. The relationship of love is not based on a transaction. It's not transaction. It's something more than that. When you have this, so what you have to do? You have to practice verse 8 and 9. Right? When you practice 8 and 9, how you have to practice it? Two conditions he adds again. That practice also should be done with consistency and full of affection, full of love. Oh, I do so much, huh? Right? Then he says, I give you Buddhi Yoga. Then I will give you Buddhi Yoga. God, I do so much of work. God has to do only what? One thing he does. Right? I have to practice this. I have to do this. I have to do that. So much I am doing. And God is going to do just only one. It's amazing verse that Buddhi Yoga. It's a fantastic coinage. It's a unique coinage in the Gita only you will find. Nowhere you will find. Buddhi Yoga. So it's a very interesting term. It says, now all the practices that you have been doing, that bhakti that you are practicing. So far he has explained bhakti. That bhakti practice of yours qualifies you for knowledge, and I give you the knowledge. See, this bhakti practice, this devotion, or what we call as shraddha, faith, devotion, direct word we have is that shraddha. The shraddha, the faith has two layers. The preliminary one, bhakti you need, surrender, we say, no? You should have surrender. That preliminary surrender is what is given as the adhikaritva, sadhana chatushtaya. In that he gives the list. Samadhi shatka sampatti, say, no? Kshama, dhamma, uparati, titiksha, then Shraddha, Samadha. These are the 6-fold qualities you needed for the spiritual pursuit. So you will find this Shraddha there, surrender, all that, because you need that fundamental surrender to start your spiritual journey. Is needed. That's very, very preliminary. Remember that. That Shraddha that you had as a miniature form now has grown into a full-fledged tree. That is the state now you are in. From here, you are given the knowledge. From here alone, the path of knowledge starts. Jnana Yoga starts. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana starts from here. indicating that he says, I give you buddhi yoga. So what is happening here? To that person, he gives the knowledge. How he gives that knowledge? Either I come and give, or I send my representative. The Guru, who is the representative of the Lord. Through Guru, you get it, or you get it from me directly. See, this is the I give you the buddhi yoga. What is that? Your transition from Aneka Rupa you had initially, you have been seeing very many gods. That very many gods you have amalgamated into one universal form. Right? That many gods had become a singular God now. Now to transcend from that singular God to Aham Brahmasmi. Right? From Saguna Brahman to Nirguna Brahma Jnana. From Saguna Brahma Upasana to gaining that Nirguna Brahma Jnanam, I guide you. How I guide you? I guide you through the Shastras, through Guru, or I come myself. Don't worry. Like I have come now. Krishna says, what is it? What is that? No, we are all contract laborers. No, these companies have insurance companies. There are, so when someone says, I come from, ICICI Prudential, you should ask them what? Are you employee or what do they say that franchise? Not a franchise. They use another word. Agency, agent, something they use a word. They are not the employees of ICICI Prudential or anything. So they will talk about anybody. And he has nothing to do with the policy, this, nothing in fact. But he will give. Nothing to do with the company. Fake. Which means fake not. Essentially it means fake. You can't say actually fake also. Because we do have contract. Because our agency has a contact with the ICICI Prudential. So they do. But are you direct employee? No. So either ICICI Prudential MD will speak to you. And ICICI Bank, who is over Hindi now? They will talk to you. Or else, someone who is employed by them will come. In a call center. You have no clue who is talking, who is doing. And they have a standard protocol. Anytime you call, they will ask the same question. I say, my house is on fire. First, tell me your address. 2, what is your mother's first name? Standard question they have to ask, to know whether are you the right person. We are like that. But there also you get something, no? Right. Here, that's what also comes and helps you to get the insurance. The direct employee also comes and gives insurance. Or the board of directors come and help you. Depending upon who you are. If you say, sir, only that fellow came, sir. That means what? You are of that level only. If you are a person of this height, they will say what? Director or incent, or you incent. So I give this Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means he will give you this jnana. He will introduce you to that jnana yoga through which you do this nididhyasana. He will introduce you to nididhyasana. So what has happened? Huh? You have transacted, you have worked with all these preliminary qualifications, and then through this practice of bhakti, you have got established in the path. Then secondary layer also is done. Preliminary devotion, primary devotion, and established devotion, upasana, when you do, then I introduce you to Jnana Yoga. This is the krama. The path we give, no? This is the krama. 11.
तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता.
Out of mere compassion for them dwelling as self, I dispel the darkness born of ignorance by the shining lamp of wisdom. Why I am doing all this? Compassion. I can't explain compassion. Compassion I explain on Monday. Love is difficult. This is, million times bigger than love. Where are we going to understand compassion? Compassion, you have to, if you see it, you see it. If you don't see it, nothing can be done. You should know the difference. You see, beyond a point, things get hazy for us. The difference between love and compassion is a huge demarcation. Like beyond a point, between a person who is doing business for 100 crores and a person who is doing 500 crores and a person who is doing 5,000 crores. Now the difference between 500 crores and 5,000 crores, you can't make it. It's so difficult. For you to understand the difference between a fellow who is doing 500 crores and 5,000 crores business, you need what? Minimum, you should be a fellow who is transacting with 100 crores. If you are not dealing with 100 crores, you can't understand what is 500, what is 5,000. In the terms of number, you will write. Obviously, sir, I know the difference between 100 crores, 500 crores, 5,000. Numerically, you will know. Right? But when you see a person, the way they think, the way they function, what they do, see, he also gets up every day. Right? Okay, he also has a bed to sleep. 100 crore fellow also has a bed to sleep. He also has a room. He also has an AC. You know what? And you will say what? Sir, this fellow also has Mercedes. He also has Mercedes. He also has Mercedes. All of them are Mercedes. Therefore, all these fellows come in Mercedes. So you think what? All same? No, the gaps to understand. Similarly, to understand the literary gaps in terms of literature, you see this classical literatures and like we have sportsmen. There are people who are fantastic in Ranji Trophy. National team, They go to national team, what happens to them? Total failure. But at Ranji level, they are fantastic. But we can't understand the difference between what is that? To understand that difference, you have to be, at least in your college, you should have played sports. You should have played cricket. In your college team, you should be. A fellow who has never, been in a college team, who was playing sport, he cannot. He will not understand the difference. Not possible. Same way here. To know the difference between compassion and love. It's like 500 crores and 5,000 crores. It's almost impossible. When you are a pauper. I say impossible. What I mean is, when you are a pauper, when you are struggling to get extra 10,000 rupees for increment, when you are fighting for 10,000 rupees increment in the office, what will you understand? 500 or 5,000. I give this. Why I am giving this Buddhi Yoga? He says, I give you the Buddhi Yoga. I giving that Buddhi Yoga, remember, is given out of compassion. Right? Hello, beauty. Giving this out of compassion. Then what happens? With that Buddhi Yoga, I assist you, I help you to dispel the darkness born of ignorance, like a shining lamp of wisdom. By this shining lamp of wisdom, I give you the wisdom. With the light of wisdom, you are able to dispel the darkness born of ignorance. Darkness is the samsara you are stuck in now. See, so to get out of that samsara with darkness, the pain of samsara goes out. That is the message he gives. So for all purpose, Vibhuti Yoga over. Right? But this fellow couldn't contain himself, Arjuna. He rattles off. He picks up. And he says, I am not satisfied. And beautiful verses. No philosophy and all that. There's the read through verses only there, simply speaking. Right? Because you say words and all that, but the empty words. Yes, I give this Buddhi Yoga out of compassion. Why he says out of compassion he is giving, catch. Rest are all, which it's all technical reason, technical analysis. What is this dispelling darkness by the darkness born of ignorance? So we need to distinguish what's darkness, ignorance, wisdom. See, so this darkness that I'm experiencing now, the cause of this darkness is ignorance. That ignorance is removed by the light of wisdom. So that's a technical one. But that's not a catch in this verse actually. The essential aspect in this verse is to capture why Krishna says, I grant you Buddhi Yoga in the last verse he said. Now he says, out of mere compassion for them, I'm giving. Dwelling as self. Another qualification for that. Dwelling as self. Now, again, you have to interpret. What is the meaning of dwelling as self? But what is understood here is, out of mere compassion for them. For whom? Those who have practiced 8, 9, half 10. So 2.5 verses, those who have practiced, to those people, out of compassion, I give. As what? As dwelling self. As the self dwelling inside them. Correct. So this we can interpret, not a problem. Then how that whole mechanism happens, then how that thing happens is, I dispel the darkness born of ignorance. How by the shining lamp of wisdom. All that we can, step by step, we can see. What is so interesting in the verse is, why does he suddenly say, out of compassion for them he is giving it? So, which means, so much of effort they have put in, after putting in so much of effort, appreciating the effort I am giving them, he should say no. Isn't it? See, if you read verse 8, 9 and 10, it is a huge effort, right? Appreciating their huge effort, I give them, na, meaning is there. He says, no, my compassion only. Which means what? Nothing to do with their effort. Yes, sir. How? Then where is compassion? See, compassion means what? I should be able to see, through the eye of compassion, I should be able to see, even if you do a little, I should be able to see it as, oh, huge, wow, superb. That's what we see, you know, our grandchild, you know, they just criticify something. And we call that a drawing. Drawing, huh? But to our eyes, it looks what? Actually, it is a good drawing. And they put, and suddenly that girl, you know, comes, she comes and says, I forgot to put nose. Fine, they add what? Water, clarity, you know, wow, amazing. Why? Why? Because of the love that we have to the child, isn't it? To our eyes, it is so precious, isn't it? When you have love. And we said love is just local. Compassion is what, sir, now? 5,000 times bigger than that. Little effort itself should be appearing like that to him. What is it? Now you have to think. This is for reflection. This is for, you know, reveling. You say, no, you revel in that. Nah, this is reveling. There is no answer. Don't try for answer here. It's not a riddle. You know, don't try to read these verses as a riddle to find answers. Don't do that. This is to be reveled. In a compassion, sir. What is that compassion he's talking about? Verse 11 is that. And then Arjuna picks it up. Then Arjuna says, I need more elaboration. Then Krishna elaborates further. This is the chapter. Otherwise, you can say, Om Tat Sat. You can say, Vibhuti Yoga Nama. Over, without done that actually. But Arjuna picks it up from there and he says, ask Krishna to give a detailed explanation. We'll see next class.